Jarvisbiker. Saturday, November 14. It is 2 minutes to 1 p.m. 2 minutes to 1. So, how will we... Thank you. How will we title this video? How about, did she go back? Sounds like a good title. Now I know what you're thinking. No, we're not talking about the princess. Two weeks ago, I believe it was a Saturday night, we decided to ride to Aylmer and go to Johnny's restaurant. Now, through most of the COVID shutdown, Johnny's had been closed for renovations. They thought, hey, they're going to shut us down, opportune time, let's do it. Now, if none of you know, Johnny's is a little family-owned run restaurant right in downtown Aylmer, Ontario, that caters to the person who would like pretty much a home-cooked meal. So like hot beef sandwiches and all kinds of anything you want. They got a vast menu of different foods to choose from. But for a guy like me, meat and potatoes, kind of straight up the alley kind of guy, it's a sure bet. So we ride up there to Aylmer and we go to Johnny's and we sit down and we get talking to the waitress, and you know, we're telling her, you know, like everything is really nice and we really like the new layout and everything, and glad that they're back, and how long were they off. And we had a good conversation and we had a good meal and chit-chatted with our waitress quite a bit. So I had the bike parked directly in front of the restaurant, pretty much about a 1 car length away from being right in front. So out we go, and as I proceed to help the princess get her helmet ready and get the suit back on and plugged in and everything, there's this very loud commotion behind us on the other side of the street, which I spin around pretty quick because it's sounding pretty serious, right? Lo and behold, there's a young lady trying to get into her car, and her boyfriend, husband, whatever, is basically got her between the car door and the car and is linebackering the door with her in between it. So I run part way across the road and start yelling at the guy, which then he's like cursing at her, and he steps back and he slaps her in the head, and I'm like, hey dude, one more time, it's a go. So then he's like, F you, and getting on to me, right? And he started to come towards me, and then he kind of looked me up and down. I was a little bigger than him, but he was a little crazier, so I wasn't too sure how that was going to turn out, but I wasn't backing down. The man's honor's at stake right now. I got my wife watching me from behind, and this young girl like with the look of pleading in her eyes to get this guy off of her. So he backs down and keeps swearing at me and gesturing, if you know what I mean, and he goes back into his stairwell and up to his apartment. So the girl looks, she's standing there, and I go, get, gone now, go. So I stood there and waited, and she was having trouble with the car. I don't know whether, I kind of think she hurt her arm, he hurt her arm, and it could have been that he hurt both of them, because she seemed to be having trouble either both or one of the other of the two things of getting the car into gear to get out of there and to actually steering it out of the parking space. But it took her several seconds to get gone, and I was like, come on honey, like, hurry it up, I want to get out of here too. I don't want to come for the remake on this. So she finally pulls away, and I turn around and I go back over to the bike and I get my helmet on, and Princess is going, we better get out of here, that guy's gonna come back for sure. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. I wasn't really excited about leaving because I really wanted to pound the hell out of the guy, but so I got on the bike, I got the suit plugged in and got the ignition turned on, and she goes, here he comes. And I turned over my shoulder to look because I was facing away from him, and he'd broken through between the parked cars on the far side of the street and was like in the middle of that lane, opposite lane of travel, coming at us with what the Princess believed was like a cut-off hockey stick. Which, okay, I wasn't really worried about that. But anyway, I started the bike, and just as he was about to get within reach of us, I pull away with the Goldwing. Gave him the big wave, if you know what I mean. And off we went down the street. So we went down a couple of blocks, and there was a pizza place pretty well lit up and a lot of people around. So we pulled into the parking lot there, and then I got on the phone and 911, and so we got the Aylmer City Police to come down, and we had a little chat with the guy, and I said, I apologize, dude, I got the cameras all over the place, but I never even thought to push the button. So when I was standing in the middle of the street, I still had my helmet in my hand, just in case he did charge at me, because that's what he was going to eat first, was the helmet, and then we just talked about anything else after that. But so we gave him this whole story and everything, and then he left to go meet his partner down there, and as we went by, they were just going in the door to go up the stairs, and we beeped and said, yeah, that's the right address right there, that's the one. And then we left, and because it was starting to rain, and I was like, dude, I can't hang around, it's gonna rain here any minute, and I gotta get going, we're on the bike, right? And he was like, yeah, no problem. He said, you know, you gave us everything we need. He said, we'll give you a call later, let you know how we make out. And I said, well, be careful. I said, he's pretty pumped up, I don't know what he's on, but he's not sober or straight, so just be careful, guys. So we proceeded to get home, and the Princess was not exaggeratedly chatty on the first half of the trip home, but she was pretty much in her prime for having a little chat about everything. And then about halfway down, coming back to Jarvis, I noticed that she wasn't talking anymore, and I said, did the adrenaline wear off? And she just went, uh-huh. That's all she said. So it took a little, almost an hour for the adrenaline in her to wear off. She was that jacked up, so I think she was a little more scared than she was letting on, because she was verbally getting her point across to the guy too while this other stuff was all going on. She had her own opinion, which kudos to her, good for her. I'm actually quite proud of her. And maybe he was mad at her and not me. Probably, but not funny. But so we didn't get the license number. Adrenaline is a funny thing. When this is all going on, you know, you're not taking notes. You know, you're watching hands and what they got in them, and if they're reaching into a pocket, you don't know what they're doing. You're more focused on that than worrying about what the license number of the car was that she was driving. But anyway, that was the main thing that the cops wanted, was her information. I said, dude, we're not from here. I got no idea who she was. I said, tall, pretty blonde, late 20s. She'll be sporting at least one sore arm and maybe a bruised face, because he hit her hard when I saw it. That wasn't the first hit she took, so cop thanked us and off we went. Got the road buddies here. Little Dodge action. Slant 6, yeah. It's got her fixed up nice, but it's a 225 slant 6. He'd be doing good if he's got the 2-barrel. If he's got the 2-barrel carburetor on it, then he's got the high performance model. I had a Barracuda with it. Anyway, back to Aylmer, Ontario. So by the time we got home, the police had already phoned once. And within me making a cup of tea and sitting down to chit-chat with the wife a little more about it, he phoned me. And he goes, just wanted to thank you for stepping in. Probably saved her from a lot more. And I said, yeah, no problem. I said my mom would have kicked my ass if I didn't step in, so anyway, we chatted for a while. He said that the guy wouldn't admit to hitting her. He didn't know who she was, kind of thing. He wasn't saying who it was. He wasn't even admit that there was a woman there. He didn't admit to anything, but the cop did say there was another witness, and his recollection of the events were exactly as ours were. So they knew they had the real deal, but they just didn't have a complainant to press any charges. Now, maybe if we had got a license number and then could have tracked her down and got a look at her and found some marks on her with us being witnesses, we probably could have give him a little more trouble than he got. And maybe she did later on, but at the time when we were there, or we were talking to him, she hadn't come forward. But I said, you better look around the ERs, because I said, she's hurt for sure. She'll be needing a doctor sometime. And I said, I'd be calling the ERs around and telling them look for a tall blonde with a sore arm or sore face, because she's probably the one. So, guess where we're going? We're going to Aylmer. And we're gonna see if we see that car parked out front of that apartment. And if we do, then we know she went back. Which, it kind of pisses you off, and I could imagine how much the police hate when people do that, because we're sticking our nose out. Like, I stuck my nose out, and that guy could have turned on me, and you know, I wasn't sizing him up. I just saw a guy hitting a girl hard, and it wasn't right, and I stepped in, and you know, it could have went bad for me if that guy was a real bad dude and, you know, came ready for action at all times. Instead of running up and getting his little hockey stick, he could have brought something else a lot worse. So just for my own curiosity, now the odds that the car's not there are about 90% that it's not, but you know the way my luck is. I usually come upon these things and have been pretty lucky at seeing what's going on and having things erupt in front of me. So we're just gonna, what are we doing here? This has got U-turn right in front of us written all over it. But we'll wait, make sure everything's okay. Maybe he's just talking on the phone. Yeah, he's talking on the phone. Good for him. Pulled over, having a little chit chat. That's the way to do her, guys. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. So we've got about another 40-minute ride here, so I'm not going to keep videotaping the whole ride, but we're on Highway 3. We're taking the bullet route up there, and I'll see about taking a more luxurious ride back afterwards. So we'll get back to you in a bit, okay? Bye-bye for now. So we're just rolling into the area here. No problem, buddy. So, no car. If there was a car, it would be right there, because there's the door. Well, hopefully it's good for her. She got the hell out. Never came back. What a nice looking bike. Anyhow, so far as we know, she didn't go back, so good girl. So that was good. She got away, hopefully. Stayed away. Anyway, this is Jarvisbiker saying good afternoon. And keep safe. Ride safe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.